ATSG, Air Transport Services Group. This is something that Mark and I know more than probably 99% of Wall Street, Mark, because Mark was negotiating a deal with a company in South Florida at Opa Locka Airport that has one of the largest MROs, are they called, Mark?
That's right.
A maintenance and repair operation at Opa Locka Airport. And these guys don't just do that. They don't just repair planes, but they repair them, they gut them, they turn them into cargo models. So if you have a 767, and obviously there's huge demand from Amazon and others for exactly, basically cargo jets. Well, these guys, ATSG, they do that, and Stone Peak, Mark, stepping in with a $3 billion bid to take the company private.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that packs to cargo, as it's called in the industry, is a pretty good business. These planes are picked up fairly cheaply. They're retired passenger planes. They are, as John said, gutted, reconfigured their interior-wise to slide those pallets around. And maybe there's some upgrades to the avionics depending on the age of the plane. But there are, even with conservative forecasts for global economic growth, which, of course, based on the outcome of this election, could become potentially even more accelerated, there is just not enough of these new cargo planes, particularly the 787 cargo, to meet the demand. These planes are also typically 1/10 or less the cost of a new one. And there's only so many people in the country that can do this. You need a special STC, special certificate from the FAA to let your MRO do this kind of work. Obviously, as you can imagine, they don't want people in their garage converting planes and flying them around, and then people's Sephora packages come, flying down into the backyard. Would not be a good outcome. And this is an interesting move on Stone Peak's part. It's a take private. I don't know if there's much that you can glean from whether or not they're concerned about what it might be as a public company under a Harris administration. Lots to unpack here. I think they paid up, but paid well for this. And certainly it's a space that we continue to look at carefully in terms of that demand for cargo airplanes that is just not going to be met by the availability of new models.
Yeah, and with the problems Boeing's had, Mark, you could just magnify that.
That's right.
Because they're new 777s that are supposed to be delivered, and they're already 1 year or more late with that, are going to be another year into the future, so you can't retire a passenger 767 until you can get the new one, and then, of course, turn that old one into cargo potentially.